What do you want? You're here. Welcome to the Vulgus Munitions Factory. You've made quite the impression at Kingston. So much so, I was tempted to recruit you for Colon. But then again, the enemy isn't exactly a pushover. However, now that we have the guide as a strategic asset, I'm sure the trajectory of this war will change drastically. Shall we get started? Based on the coordinates provided by the guide, the Ironheart excavation site is near the enemy's industrial zone. Unfortunately, the exact location needs to be confirmed in person. The coordinates are based on data from the time of the ancestors, and there's a high probability that the topography today will look a little different. I'll do recon around the industrial zone. While I'm doing that, your mission is to create a diversion to draw the enemy's eyes away from me. Even though I have active camouflage, things will be much easier if you can hold the enemy's attention. I'll tell Jeremy to stay behind and provide operational support. Jeremy seems to be unable to link with the guide, so he won't be much use in finding the excavation site. He'll be better deployed using his arcade teleportation abilities as support for your diversion operation. Let's get moving. We need to restore the guide system as soon as possible.
What, me? Support? Oh, for crying out loud. Guide, guide, guide! That's all everybody talks about these days. Since when did the higher-ups at Albion conduct operations based on the word of a spirit? Not to mention, excluding an excellent descendant like myself from this operation, everything's clearly going very well. Hey, you think it's funny I can't link with the guide? Alright then, let's consider which descendants aren't able to link with the guide right now. Let's see. It's only me and Alpha, yes? Looks to me like the commander of Albion and the strongest descendant are the only ones who are still sane. If I were you, I'd think carefully about why you've been designated as a bait, and I'm going to do things my way. Don't even think about tagging along. Huh. Do you really think you can even attempt to follow me? With my arcade abilities?
Descendant, we have an urgent report on Sharon. Her current position is near the Vulgus Munitions Factory. Thanks to your diversionary tactics, she was able to reach the target safely, but the Vulgus have appeared. This is the sitrep recorded by Sharon's Asive.
Operating arcade tracking matrix. Kyber retrofitted active camouflage detected. Probability of zone infiltration high. Ironheart excavation site status. Quarantine at the highest level of security. Terminate the descendant on site. Terminate. Terminate.
This cyborg Vulgus, Edelik, is a commando-level model specializing in defense missions. It's armed with arcade tracking functions. And it seems the Vulgus already know about the Ironheart excavation site. I was told that the Ancestors' data was tightly guarded at Kingston. If the Vulgus have gained access to it, however, then this rigorous level of security makes sense. For the moment, Sharon has requested an attack on the repository's core facility to lure the Vulgus commander. Once the Vulgus have vacated the factory, she intends to try and infiltrate it again. Descendant, you and Jeremy are to launch an attack on the repository.
Are you sure this guide can be trusted? Didn't you guys win at Kingston?
Focus on the mission, Jeremy.
Descendant, I am at a loss for words. The Ancestors' data that the Vulgus obtained in Kingston was formatted in such a way that it could not be fully viewed until all of the data packets were combined. The Vulgus managed to transmit around 90% of the data. Defeating their commander prevented them from transmitting the remaining 10%. But they were able to reconstruct the missing 10% themselves and read all of the data. How was that possible? I need to analyze this. Descendant, You need to continue your search for the Ironheart excavation site. If the Vulgus enter it first, they may destroy the entire site after they find what they want. We must hurry.
How pathetic. A full operation for such a minor target? Guess the Colon Special Forces aren't that special after all. I've sent you a more appropriate mark, so you can show me what you can really do with those highfalutin skills of yours. Get it together, come on!
I'm alive, thanks to you. And you even found time to attack the Vulgus Kuiper facility. I've really gotta hand it to you. Oh yeah, how did I manage to get the slip on Ederlich? He retreated as soon as the battle at the mining site was over and headed toward a facility. It looked like he'd planned to do so from the beginning. I wondered what he was up to, but he actually did us a favor in the end. I think the Ironheart excavation site is underneath that facility. A pretty hastily built structure? Check. Multiple security devices guarding the entrance? Check. Commander-level Vulgus disappearing inside? You can see how it all adds up, right? I need to assign missions to all operatives to shut down the facility's multiple security devices. It'll require specific procedures, but I've had experience in dismantling many of these types of devices. Let's move. We need to get in there before the Vulgus can do anything to the excavation site.
I have to admit, not even my arcade can penetrate the quantum barrier of these security devices. Those rust buckets have put some thought into this. It seems as if all of you have forgotten, so I'll repeat myself one more time, since they're here too. It looks like it'll be a guide-related mission from this point on, which means I can't have anything to do with it, right? You're the one who told me I should be in a supporting role, Sharon. Yeah? Since I can't connect to the guide. Report that to HQ however you like. It's not like they have a cell that can hold me, do they? Nah. Maybe I will sit in a cell and get some rest. It's been a while. Last time I was there, it was really fun. I'm not sure who blabbed about my secret operation, but had it been carried out, not only would we have the Iron Heart, but Corell's heart as well. I guess that's just my little walk down memory lane. Have fun with your imaginary friend. Peace!
Sharon, give me the order and I will track him.
Let him be. Jeremy's RK ability is teleportation. We have no way of catching it.
Descendant, although it was not my intention, there seems to be a misunderstanding with Jeremy. I do not choose who I am linked with. The process follows strict directives woven into RK by the ancestors. I have no knowledge of the details of these directives, nor am I capable of ignoring them. If I were able to alter those directives, would I have been able to resolve this misunderstanding with Jeremy? Could I ease Alpha's suspicions? The human mind is difficult to comprehend. It feels like a mass of powerful energy surrounded by a resilient defense mechanism, almost like an Iron Heart. I apologize for occupying your time before an important operation. I will focus on the emergency restoration protocol and remain on standby. I hope I can bring results that reflect the level of effort you have put into this operation.
You'll need to leave first, Descendant. Sharon's prosthesis has been damaged from excessive RK use. We'll join you as soon as we can.
Don't worry. You've seen what they're capable of. I hope these repairs can be done quickly.
The void corrosion has encroached upon my legion.
That is because of an unknown error. It will be fixed momentarily. security threat has been neutralized. I have completed all preparations as you commanded.
Begin.
The Legion will be reborn through the Ironheart.
Rise, my warriors! Give your lives for Clipper! Glory death to our enemies! Stand at the vanguard for me, Al-Zaruk. I will stand at the vanguard of the Legion. Al-Zaruk submits to Lord Karel's command. Anna, transport the Ironheart to my fortress. Initiate the data inversion immediately.
My Ironheart detection system has a scanning function which uses Arcade to detect certain environmental factors. Within zones where Arcade can be detected, my system can track the Ironheart through its unique pulse, particles, and energy. The tracking range and accuracy depends on where Arcade particles are distributed across Ingress. At present, considering the operational zones where Descendants are deployed, approximately 35% of Ingress can be covered. I have just detected Ironheart particles at Sharon's location, which is important. There is clearly something of interest at the Vulgus munitions factory. By using my detection system Descendant, I can find traces of the Ironheart through Descendants who have been deployed throughout Ingress. However, the Vulgus called Eamon, the one who accessed the quantum monolith, gained a great deal of relevant information after repairing the Ironheart. It seems the theft of the Ancestors' data was also led by Eamon. Even though he is a Vulgus, he possesses a high level of understanding of the Ancestors' technology. However, a Vulgus is only a Vulgus. They cannot defeat a direct descendant of the Ancestors. Use me to find the Ironheart Descendant. I will assist humankind from this moment forward.
Descendant, I've received the report on the results of the operation from Colon Special Forces. It seems the core functionality of the guide has been restored. I have a related operation for you. Please return to HQ.
Descendant, a quick word before the briefing. You seem to be a little too preoccupied with your AI friend at the moment. As your commander, I'm concerned that you're prioritizing the guide over the operation report. The guide is only a strategic tool. I tolerate her under the condition she does not cross a line, but I don't consider her to be one of us. She is essentially data, and data can be manipulated by external factors, or even by itself. We should never see it as being at the same level as those of us who have fought together against the enemy, and built our trust in each other in the process. Keep that in mind, and you'll be the best teammate anyone could ask for. That being said,
This operation was expertly handled. I trust you to keep up the good fight, Descendant. As you may be aware, the Guide has detected Ironheart particles at Sharon's location.
The location is inside the Vulgus munitions factory. Sharon and the Colon Special Forces have been conducting stealth reconnaissance, but time is running out.
Once you've completed preparations, join Sharon and look for traces of the Ironheart. We've kept our end of the bargain. Now it's the Guide's turn to prove her worth.
HQ, we appreciate the support. The operation will commence once reinforcements arrive. Sorry, I wasn't able to help you at the excavation site. To be honest, I'm not sure if my functions, my skills, are at full capacity. It takes a huge amount of RK to maintain the Kuiper retroreflective active camouflage. It feels like my prosthesis and I are both slowly reaching our limits. But if the Ironheart is within our reach, I have to give it my all, even if it breaks me. The Guide said that Ironheart particles are the fundamental clues we need to track it. They're kind of like footprints that the Ironheart leaves behind, wherever it goes. I've compared the location of these footprints to the recon intel. We should find more conclusive data as we continue to follow the traces. I'll send the details of the zone you'll need to cover to your receive. The remaining zones will be covered by Colon operatives.
The Vulgus munitions factory. It truly is an ominous and horrifying place.
Can you feel that?
I can experience a variety of sensations through the archy of Descendants, including the phantom pain you feel.
That's for me to deal with, Guide. Don't poke your nose in where it's not wanted. Once I've dealt with my personal target, then I'll ask you to remove the pain.
You refer to the Vulgus you were pursuing. Descendant, I can detect both Ironheart particles and its pulse in this zone. It keeps moving. If you and Sharon can widen the range of RK, I can obtain more accurate information. Please help me. Also, my system has been more inconvenienced than I expected. I believe that once it was restored, I would be able to locate the Ironhearts wherever they may be in Ingress. However, it may be that my system has yet to be completely restored. As I was created for the Ironheart, I assumed my performance would not be this lackluster. In order to achieve my goal, our goal, my performance will need to improve.
Let's think about that later, if we make it out alive. If the Vulgus have a large assault ship, they'll soon be pouring into this place. Number 17 and I will operate in stealth mode. You stay sharp.
Descendant, I have pinpointed the location where all of the Ironheart traces converge. It is hidden within the facility of the Legion of Immortality. I can detect a continuous Ironheart pulse and particles, as well as a small amount of energy from this place. And they seem to be moving. I recommend we investigate this place, Descendant. I'll need you to lend me your strength.
Sharon, I will stay behind and retrieve the cache of Vulgus experiment records. I'm sure they'll contain valuable information.
I'll enter the inner facility first. Join me when you're ready.
Karel, do you truly plan on inverting the Ironheart data? If you do that, we won't be able to decipher the unidentified guide code. And...
Enough! The Ironheart data must be inverted in order to destroy the dimensional wall. I don't have time to think about that. You understand my vision now, don't you?
Oh, of course. I am only thinking of our research.
I I'm glad to hear that our objectives are aligned. Initiate the data inversion. Tip-off will engulf Ingress. The roars of the Vulgus will fill this land with fear!
Descendant, I have the results of the operation from Sharon. Alpha is tied up with an emergency meeting with the Magisters. I have been ordered to brief you on the follow-up operation. Please make your way to HQ. Excellent work, Descendant. This operation has yielded many results, both positive and negative. Firstly, all of HQ is encouraged by the possibilities presented by the guide. Although we were unsuccessful in our retrieval of the Ironheart, thanks to the guide's tracking function, we uncovered the Vulgus restricted zone and Alzarok. This proves the guide's tracking system exists and is operational. However, the ingenuity that the Vulgus demonstrated with their use of the Ironheart was alarming. So much so that the Magisters requested an emergency meeting with Alpha. In particular, the inversion of the Ironheart ordered by Corral is something we must understand, no matter the cost. From this point forward, HQ plans to adopt the guide's tracking functionality and the various other information sources they offer as official operational elements. The Descendants will soon be deployed throughout Ingress. Use the guide to track the Ironheart and proceed with the mission to investigate the inversion procedure. Humanity's full-scale counterattack has officially begun. However, I know you have just completed a difficult mission. Until the official deployment order is given, please go ahead with whatever preparations you need to make. Doctors have promised their full commitment to support research efforts, so this is the perfect opportunity to request anything you need from an ace. Before you go, Descendant, I have a personal request. Can you retrieve the Alzarok autopsy report from Jeremy? The report was intended for delivery to the Magisters. Jeremy requested a brief look at it, and I haven't heard from him since. I understand things are strained between you and Jeremy due to the recent operation, but I hope you'll do this anyway. Descendant, just in case, I hope you're not disappointed that Jeremy wasn't punished. I actually saw Alpha slap Jeremy earlier. No one enjoys seeing their superior do something like that, but I believe it was a more appropriate punishment than a court-martial. I'm sure that Jeremy has also learned his lesson.
What the? You're still alive? I was just reading the report on Alzarok and thinking, wouldn't it be great if he, killed you? Anyway, looks like he got to experience something interesting at least. A Vulgus redesigned by the Ironheart. Wow. Now, that's an area that fascinates me. If I knew you'd be seeing that, I would have stuck with the operation instead of dropping out. And I wouldn't have been slapped by Alpha. Anyway, why are you here? I'm in a bad enough mood already after Sharon and her minion drop by to give me a piece of their minds? What? Nell wants the report? Ah, so you're her gopher. You really are something. You can take it and buzz off. You probably don't have time to argue with me anyway. Sharon mentioned earlier that the guide isn't in the best shape. All these so-called grown-ups having fun with their imaginary friend. Oh, get lost! You're annoying me!
Descendant, something has altered the properties of the Ironheart I was connected to. As soon as we returned to Albion, I leapt between the arcade of different descendants in order to find Ironheart traces. I discovered traces in the desert and forest areas, and at that moment, I felt great pain. In human terms, it felt like my skin was peeling off and my flesh was melting. Descendant, I suspect this phenomenon is caused by an inversion process. If Corell and Eamon had enough time after moving the Iron Heart, they may have managed to perform it. However, aside from this pain, I was unable to obtain any further information. For the properties of the Iron Heart to change, a tremendous amount of energy would have to be released.
Void dimension link detected. Colossus approaching. I repeat, void dimension link detected. Colossus approaching.
Descendant, a Colossus has appeared. This Colossus, is it merely coincidence? Can this truly be unrelated to the Ironheart inversion? The ancestors always removed the environmental value of chance from all variables. They believed all things had a cause and an effect. My thoughts are all muddled. It would be best to focus on the Colossus for now, Descendant. As for the inversion, I will investigate.
Classification type, stunning beauty. All descendants in Albion, prepare for an intercept battle.
They're arriving on the daily! And not just any Colossus, but stunning beauty? Somebody buy Alpha a new pen? He's gonna have to write so many letters of condolences today.
Alpha let him off with just a slap in the face. He should have gone after his neck.
I don't disagree.
Descendant, you have been successful. We live in uncertain times, but thankfully the skills of the Descendants remain stable and unchanged. Even if using the word stable in our current situation is embarrassingly ironic. The dimensional wall is currently in the worst state it has ever been. Before now, it was almost unheard of for an energy-insensitive Colossus like Stunning Beauty to be able to find its way here. We must find the Ironheart and connect it to the Prime Hands as soon as possible. Closing the dimensional wall is the only way we can achieve true victory over the Colossi.
I suppose everyone thinks the dimensional wall is the only answer.
Are you saying it isn't?
I cannot say whether it is or not. As we do not have an Iron Heart, nothing can be proven.
You think too much. We should find a heart and prove it then. I'm pretty sure there's one in Vespers. Traces from another Iron Heart have been discovered in a forest in Vespers. I've already spoken with HQ. Let's discuss operation strategies. Come with me. Sorry, I know you probably wanted some rest after taking out that Colossus. Anyway, like I said over comms, we've discovered Ironheart traces in Vespers. I had business to attend to with the Order of Truth, so I was hunting down some Vulgus there. Suddenly, the guide appeared, claiming she felt the pulse of an Ironheart in the area, and then simultaneously in multiple areas. According to the guide, these multiple signals weren't byproducts of the Ironheart like Alzarok was. Comparing it with the data we have now, there really seems to be a difference. Now, well, it's obvious, isn't it? We have no other choice but to check every single location she's detected. When I came back to HQ to report on my operation, they told me to take reinforcements, and I chose you. Jeremy makes me very uncomfortable, but I have no trouble trusting you. So, you in? I'll take your silence as consent. I knew you'd accept, even if you didn't actually say it. We'll head to the Vespers outpost once you're ready. It'll give Dr. Glay time to join us.
We've received operation details. The Ironheart pulse has supposedly been detected in this area, but it's impossible to triangulate since it's dispersed in several directions.
That's correct, Glay. I can feel it clearly, but it's hard for me to pinpoint its exact position. However, I can confirm it is in this zone.
We were deployed here to find one thing, and now we also have to find the Ironheart. We'll have to look under every rock in Vespers.
Freyna and I were sent here to look for a group of Vulgus, who have stolen RK serum from Jaber and some other descendants. Freyna, Sharon, even I've already had my RK serum stolen by them once. Things will only get worse if we let them take any more of it.
Those bastards. They satisfy their own desires by taking everything we humans have. They have to be stopped.
If the Ironheart is underground, then it makes sense that we're detecting the pulse in multiple locations. Not only is 55% of the surface of Vespers composed of slickenside, but this zone has a high distribution of strange-looking rocks. It's also one of the few zones where there are Ancestors' ruins on the surface, and most of the Ancestors' ruins are built out of slickenside. That's why it's difficult to pinpoint the exact point of origin of the pulses. The characteristics of slickenside make it easier for pulses to pass through it, which means there's a higher probability of pulses being detected simultaneously from multiple directions.
When I analyze the strata, there are spaces that feel empty to me. They are most likely where the Ancestors' ruins can be found. All entrances to these spaces emit pulses of similar intensity. However, you will need to confirm in person whether these places are the correct paths to lead us to the Ironheart.
In that case, we'll need to check all the places detected by the guide. There's no way the Vulgus didn't prepare for this.
All right, let's spread out and find the entrance that leads underground. That'll split the enemy's attention, so it's a good tactical approach as well.
Freyna, I understand there are specialized drones that Albion has created to find the Ironheart.
That's correct. Enzo's sending the drones here shortly.
That is excellent news. Let's begin our search for the Ironheart in earnest.
This place has been mentioned in records throughout history. And as the name suggests, these are the ruins. Turns out this is where the greatest recorded number of ancestors gather. Investigation by the excavation team and analysis by the magisters uncovered records mentioning the breakout of civil war. The ruins are evidence, remnants of this war. We don't yet know why the Civil War happened. Albion collapsed as a result of the war, and this is the only surviving record.
Given the Ironheart is here, that may have been a factor behind the outbreak of any civil war. Past or present, the Ironheart definitely has the capability to turn the fate of Ingress upside down. That hasn't changed. There were bound to be conflicts.
This is the first I've heard of this civil war. Freyna's theory is quite interesting. The Ironheart in Ingress. It could be powerful and dangerous enough to turn the fate of everything in existence upside down.
Glay, I know you're a medical doctor. Do you have doctorates in history and geology as well?
I just wanted to be able to explain anything my daughter was curious about. To be the person who could answer any questions she asked.
Sounds like you'll have a lot to talk about once she returns. You must have experienced and learned countless things during the time she's been away.
I have so much to tell her we'll probably stay up all night. Anyway, we should hurry. Guide, can you do an in-depth analysis of the ruins, please? There must be an entrance somewhere.
Enzo here. I've been able to expand my range to the vicinity of the ruins thanks to the data acquired by the drones and the guide. Transmitting surface analysis information and intel on potential entrances to Aceives.
That's not far from my current position. I'll go.
Glay, I'll go. That's where the bastards from the Order of Truth have settled. I'm the only one who can withstand the toxins they use.
I'll leave it to you then.
HQ will continue to monitor the situation. Should anything happen to Freyna, please report immediately.
You're here. It's a good thing I took this side. Neither you nor Glay would have lasted. Let's go find this entrance. Ugh, I thought I crushed the Order. They've just regrouped. They're so horrible and dirty and disgusting. There seems to be no end to them.
Freyna, calm down. Your heart rate is increasing. It could trigger a traumatic episode.
We don't have any sedatives, so if you start having seizures, we'll have to send you back to Albion.
All right, I get it. I'll calm down. Don't get your panties in a bunch. It's not enough for me to black out. Hey, Kate? Can you hear me?
Huh? Freyna? Yes, I hear you. What's happening? Anything I can help you with?
I overheard your comms with Glay. You're doing something with the fungus, right? If we collect enough fungi, will you be able to make an antidote or antibody that gives us immunity?
Of course. Although it may take some time, it's not impossible.
Great idea. Kate, if you have any questions during production, get in touch right away. And remember to be methodical. You make mistakes when you're rushing.
Wait. That was over 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was back then.
Our objective is to secure as much fungi as possible. Let's hurry. If we have an antidote or antibodies that give us immunity, the mission will become much easier.
I only picked up bits and pieces earlier. I didn't realize it was such an emergency. An Ironheart. Right in front of us. The place will be crawling with Corell's minions, but don't worry. I can take this opportunity to show you what an awesome Descendant I am. I'm curious what Guide's reaction will be after I carry this entire operation. Let me know, will ya? Alrighty. Shall we get this show started? I'll use my incredible teleportation skills to scout all of the underground spaces.
If the Vulgus are on the verge of opening the vault, then they'll likely report to their superior, Corell.
In which case, we'll need a way to tap into their comms. Guide, check and see if there are any ally devices nearby we can use to wiretap.
There is one ally communications repeater. If I modify the code, it can be altered to enable wiretapping.
That should work. We should spread out and continue with the mission.
First of all, this is only a theory for now. I must review the enemy's data before I can be certain. I have some ideas on why the enemy is collecting organic matter, and I have reached a hypothetical conclusion. The most probable reason is that their DNA analysis is still incomplete, and they're looking for materials to use as part of it.
In order to extract pure DNA from something, you need a refining process to remove all the other materials mixed in.
And once refinement has been completed, you will still need to perform an amplification process. This process requires certain enzymes.
So what you're saying, Guide, is that the Vulgus are extracting the enzymes they need from the giant tree.
In a way, yes. As the giant tree has existed since the time of the ancestors, it will have accumulated a variety of organic matter. It may store materials which are difficult to find even now. The Vulgus may have predicted this. It is likely that they intend to extract all of the remaining organic matter left in the giant tree in order to find the enzymes required for amplification.
If we can seize what they extract and send it to Albion, we can expedite our research process.
I guess we have our answer then. Let's hurry. It's our turn to take something from them. Let's make them pay for messing with us.
Descendant, it seems that Glay has elected herself to be our guide this time. But I agree. Because of Glay's quick judgment and knowledge, I was able to decrease my margin of error.
I'm honored to hear that. Coming from a highly advanced AI created by the ancestors.
I must go into overclock mode in order to do everything I can to help you gain the Ironheart.
What are you doing? Sightseeing? This operation is a waste of time, a complete waste. You keep telling me I need to cooperate, but I think you guys are the uncooperative ones.
Jeremy, unless your receive is having issues, there is no way you didn't know we were in the middle of an operation. It's prohibited for Descendants to deactivate their receives during an operation. If you manually deactivated your receive link, I think that would make your attitude toward the operation uncooperative.
I'd watch what you're saying, Glay. I carried out my side of the operation perfectly. I scouted the entire area thoroughly. I've even confirmed that the Ancestors' ruins are in the deepest part of Vespers. How dare you question my attitude? God, I don't know why Alpha looks out for you guys so much. Maybe he feels sorry for you being possessed by the ghost or guide or whatever. If it's because he pities you, well, I guess normal me has no choice but to be understanding. I'll distract the enemy's backlines just for you pitiful lot. You can follow me and push through. You three, no. Is it four? Anyway, you're all deployed, so let's cooperate and get this operation done without any mistakes. Also, I've been assigned to retrieve the Ironheart, so don't any of you think about touching it. I'm warning you.
Lay, your anger levels are rising.
I'm doing my best to let it go.
Oh, wow. You've completely lost it, haven't you? Listen. If you spotted the target, you should have said so. What are you doing? So this is what's gotten everybody so riled up. That's it. That's what makes us the Ironheart. It's way more impressive than what the rumors say. Hey, how long do you plan on just standing there? Go back to Albion and bring reinforcements or something. Why are you still here? Go! So, it's just the two of us now.
Descendant, do you have something positive to report, finally? Where's the Ironheart now? What? I gave the order for Jeremy to retrieve the Ironheart. I never did that. There must have been a misunderstanding. Nell, did you send those instructions?
I've done no such thing over any official channel, and even unofficially. I have no reason to contact him. Something's not right. Could it be?
Nell, contact Jeremy. Now.
I can't get through to Jeremy. His Deceive has been deactivated, and there's no record of him entering Albion either.
It can't be. Jeremy is still a Descendant, even if he's sometimes led astray. He's a Descendant fighting for humanity who despises the Vulgus with every fiber of his being.
Alpha, we should see if we can detect Jeremy's RK and traces of the Ironheart through the guide.
All Descendants on standby. Please contact the guide for assistance as required. Command has identified Jeremy's last known whereabouts. Prepare for a pursuit operation.
Descendant, I've heard about Jeremy. But there's something I must tell you first. When I came into contact with the energy from the second Ironheart, a new function was restored to my system. It's an algorithm for amplifying the void energy sensory field. An early warning system for detecting colossi that are drawn to the Ironheart. However, perhaps because it was transferred through Jeremy's RK, which I am not synced with, my operating system is rejecting this function. Even now, alarm bells are ringing. My functions have been interrupted and my system cannot be recalibrated. Descendant, I am in no doubt that a Colossus is heading towards Ingress at this very moment. Please transfer my sensory field amplification algorithm to Seneca. If we can intercept that Colossus and recalibrate my system, Jeremy and the Ironheart can be found. Please, help me, Descendant.
It appears we have no choice. Please handle whatever the guide needs first. As Alpha said, we cannot rely on the guide alone. HQ will do their best to identify Jeremy's last known location and prepare for a pursuit operation.
Ah, Descendant, you're here. Thank you for all your hard work with the intercept battle. Unfortunately, we need to drag you into another operation before you get a chance to rest. Albion has entered uncharted territory. A Descendant has committed treason. A Descendant. Someone who should have been humanity's beacon of hope. Damn it! How could this have happened? HQ has officially denounced Jeremy as a traitor. A rapid arrest operation is in progress. Enzo received intel from the guide and was first on the scene. Jeremy is heading towards Echo Swamp. As the enemy's attention is keenly focused on this location, and because of the swampy terrain, deployment of forces on a large scale will be difficult. To make matters worse, we've lost contact with Essimo. He was carrying out another operation in the area. Essimo's support was vital. Enzo won't be able to command and fight by himself. Our lack of manpower is delaying the operation. If we don't hurry, we'll be delivering the Ironheart to the Vulgus on a silver platter after we've worked so hard to get it. We must prevent that from happening at all costs. Rules of engagement for Jeremy will be sent separately. If possible, I would like to have him brought back alive. I want to hear what he was thinking as his commander, and why he did what he did. Go after Jeremy, and please, find the Ironheart and bring it back.
I will tell Enzo to prepare to resume the operation.
Understood. Descendant, wrap up any preparations for reinforcements quickly, and head to the Misty Woods outpost in Echo Swamp. Enzo is awaiting your arrival.
All right. We've had some delays, but I'm happy to say we can now restart the pursuit. First things first, as we've lost contact with Essimo, and there are no other Descendants who have the power to handle the battle, we had to suspend the search and blockade construction. I'm afraid we'll need a rescue operation for Essimo. He was deployed here on a mission to destroy a Vulgus facility, and we've lost contact with his unit. If possible, I think searching for Essimo while we continue with the rest of the mission is a good idea. While our operation was delayed, the Vulgus deployed their forces throughout the swamp. We think they sensed something was up with Jeremy. I got impatient, so I took command and attacked. But because the soldiers couldn't receive their orders in time, we nearly experienced heavy losses. After that, the Vulgus forces increased and rapid deployment of soldiers wasn't feasible. It seems Jeremy used this to his advantage and went deeper into the swamp. So starting now, we'll be focusing on reconnaissance to expand the search area. If you go on ahead, the soldiers will follow and establish a barricade. This will allow for much wider RK distribution, which will be an advantage in tracking both Jeremy's RK and the Ironheart traces. We have to overextend ourselves a little. We have no choice. Based on the intel from the guide, it's clear Jeremy has some kind of plan in mind. Apparently Jeremy's voice was captured through the Ironheart pulse. However, briefly that was detected. This is what was recorded.
I knew it, I was right. The Vulgus here have all been enhanced through superior DNA. The quality of this Kuiper's perfect, though it would have been good to secure both DNA and Kuiper in advance. Oh, yeah.
You heard him, right? DNA, Kuiper. I have no idea what he's talking about, but I know this operation needs to resume quickly. The area where the guide picked up Jeremy's voice is a way off. We've got a long road ahead of us. This operation, we're all slowly sinking into this swamp. Not happy about it. Be prepared for unexpected combat situations, and leave the mission in your capable hands.
Regarding Jeremy's defection, the plan is to capture him alive and carry out a detailed interrogation. However, after analyzing the characteristics of the Vulgus DNA and the Kuiper, I think we need to understand Jeremy's motives first, so that we can be 2 steps ahead of him. First off, from the Vulgus DNA collected here, we identified malignant cells, those which have been exposed to void energy. Well, we'd call them malignant cells, but for the Vulgus, they're more of a genetic enhancement. They give them higher bone density and muscle growth. And we've detected high levels of void energy in the Vulgus Kuiper you discovered. To humans, this affected Kuiper is highly contaminated material which cannot be processed and used for any products. But for the Vulgus, it is enhanced Kuiper. Can you see the connection? Both the cells and the Kuiper have been altered as the result of exposure to the void, and both are needed to create enhanced Vulgus. I'm not sure why Jeremy needs them, but I do know where we can find them. The Abandoned Zone. Throughout Ingris's history, it's been identified as the first area to be connected to the Void Dimension, and the worst source of contamination is located in Echo Swamp. That's where we need to go. We can either overtake Jeremy, or at least find traces of him. Huh? Hold on. That's the emergency comm signal.
Is anybody there? This is Essimo. We can't move. We're surrounded by enemy forces.
Essimo, what's your location?
I'm at the Abandoned Zone. I was sent here on a mission to destroy the Vulgus facility. But at this rate, I'll be the one being destroyed.
Like hell you will. Sending reinforcements right now.
Essimo! Essimo, please respond! Ah, damn it! We've lost contact. That wasn't much to go on. Right now, the only thing we can be sure of is that they're nearby. Actually, this works in our favor. This is our chance to rescue Essimo and track down Jeremy. I'll search for traces of Jeremy and the Ironheart with a guide. Please rescue Essimo and take him to the forward base.
I am definitely detecting a very minute presence of RK in this zone. I appear to be unable to transfer my consciousness into it. This narrows it down to 2 possibilities. Either this is Jeremy's RK, or the RK of Essimo, who is unconscious.
We can't miss this opportunity.
As you know, my mission was to remove the source of the contamination in the Abandoned Zone before it spread to Albion. Where you rescued me, near the pipe there, my unit and I were looking for the source of the contamination connected to that pipe. We were on the verge of finding it. But the soldiers in my unit started getting sick, one by one, from some unknown disease, while the Order of Truth seemed to be getting stronger by the day. You know I have a sensitive nose, right? Well, my soldiers and the enemy smelled the same to me, but their symptoms, how the disease affected them, were the opposite of each other. It doesn't make any sense. Once I figured that out, I didn't just sit on my butt. I mobilized all of my men who were able to move and scoured the nearby area. That's when they turned on me. I knew I shouldn't have pushed them so hard. Jeremy showed up, and you know what that idiot said? Albion considers all of you to be expendable. Follow me, and I'll give you power. Let's take down Albion together. It sounded like a bunch of hogwash. But then he took out the Ironheart. And it was the first time any of us had seen something that had seemed like just a rumor. To be honest, it was also the first time I'd seen the real thing in person. And even I thought it was pretty extraordinary. Though because I'd been connected to the guide from the start, I didn't fall for Jeremy's speech. But when that bastard said what he needed for his plan was nearby, One by one, my men pointed their guns at me. What did Jeremy say it was again? What he needed? That's right, a seed storage. And I knew the source of the contamination was there too. My nose told me. You're planning on going to the seed storage now, aren't you? In that case, focus on finding Jeremy. Destroying the source of the contamination, the seed storage, was my original mission. I'll try and recover, and get back on track with that as soon as possible. I'll make sure to blow up whatever it is Jeremy is trying to get his hands on.
Jeremy has got hold of Vulgus DNA and contaminated Kuiper? Well, the bastard always had a special interest in the Vulgus. He was always praising how much stamina the Vulgus had, their power, their technological prowess, and the possibilities that they unlocked through genetic improvements. I didn't want to discourage him as he was doing useful research into the enemy's capabilities. But I can't deny his obsession made his teammates uneasy. There was an incident where he captured a Vulgus production facility. He argued that Albion also needed to create artificial soldiers. The Colon Counterintelligence Unit investigated his research and seized his records. He was sent to the detention center for a time as a result of what they discovered. He was nearly expelled as a Descendant. Wait. Once he's acquired the Ironheart, there's no reason he won't go ahead with his plan. I wonder if that's why he studied the autopsy report on Alzarok so carefully. He's likely after more than the quantum storage box containing the Ironheart. We need to examine all records involving Jeremy and any of Albion's supplies. All right. Now that I understand the gravity of the situation, you may return to the field. I entrust the capture of Jeremy and secure retrieval of the Ironheart to you.
Demolition of the seed storage has been completed. Rendezvous point sent. No matter which way you look at it, it definitely is the Tree of Truth. An encrypted call. This is Enzo. Identify. Wait. Is this Jeremy? Okay, I've switched to a public channel as you requested. Now answer our questions.
Hey! Who is this? If it isn't Alpha's little bit... I mean, the Descendants.
We'll be asking the questions, Jeremy. What is your location?
I was just about to thank you guys. I'm inside the seed storage, which you guys so kindly cleaned up for me. Thanks for taking care of the Vulgus. I was able to swipe some highly concentrated Kuiper and organic matter, all because of you.
When did you...
Idiot. Did you forget what I can do as soon as you couldn't see me? There were so many blind spots. Until SMO blew the place up, that is. I don't know why you're all making such a big deal out of this guide. She can't guide anyone. She couldn't even find the Ironheart when it was inside a quantum storage box.
Jeremy, have you thought about surrendering? Think about the lives of the innocent soldiers you've influenced.
Don't you think our bigger concern should be the future of humankind? I'm sick and tired of the incompetence of Albion's military commanders. Actually having the Ironheart, which we worked so hard to get, why are we so fixated on using it on the dimensional wall? Do you really think this fight will end just because we closed it? Even if we stop the Colossi from coming, how do we plan to deal with all of the remaining Vulgus and Ingress? We have more casualties daily than there are new recruits. You think Descendants will make a difference? Huh. Even if we can clear an entire battlefield, do you really think that's enough to turn the tide in this war? You're deluded. Descendants are just as vulnerable as the rest of Albion's soldiers. We're all mortal. And if the Magister's equipment breaks and our Arche runs out, Descendants will be nothing but frail human beings doomed to die. But the Vulgus, they continue to advance even as we speak. The Ironheart makes them even stronger. Humanity needs to be stronger, and I know how. I'll soon show you. Just you wait.
Jeremy? Jeremy! Damn it! There's no way he would have taunted us with an encrypted call that can only be accessed from a short range. I'm positive he's looking for something near the tree.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm ready to blow it all up.
Esimo, if the output of the machine installed on that tree is correct, half of this swamp will be blown away. Please calm down.
This is so frustrating. I'm going crazy. We need to take full control of the area around that tree.
Ah, speak of the devil. She's contacting me now. Kate, I'm receiving. The supplies I sent are the ones seized from an important Vulgus facility. We identified them as being highly likely to be targeted by Jeremy, so we went after them first. There's 3 supply boxes worth.
These are genetic materials used to create Vulgus bodies. If Jeremy wants to emulate the process in the Alzarok report, these are the core materials he'll need. But did you say 3 boxes? Only 2 have been delivered. Was one intercepted by the Vulgus?
What are you talking about, Kate? The delivery speed for Albion supply boxes is too fast to be overtaken by standard transportation. Wait a second. Jeremy. His RK abilities. He might be able to grab a supply box mid-air. Damn it. This is the emergency response system. A supply box on its way to Albion has been intercepted. Last known location is in the northeast. There is a high chance that Jeremy grabbed it. He planned this.
Oh man, you've given me everything I needed. You have my eternal gratitude. Don't worry, I'll put these supplies to good use.
All forces, I'm sending the last known coordinates of the supply box. Move out.
Is Jeremy trying to make a pet Vulgus? That's disturbing.
I have a different theory. Jeremy has everything he now needs. Void energy, highly concentrated Kuiper, Vulgus DNA solution, and the Ironheart. All of these were used by Aemon when he created Alzarok.
Are you saying Jeremy is creating a super strong Vulgus that will obey him? I would have expected bigger things from that traitor.
Perhaps, as he already has RK, he may be attempting to fuse his own body with that of a Vulgus, spawning a new being. Those of Esimo's men who were won over by Jeremy were strongly taken by his words, fully believing what he said. However, there is one thing Jeremy hasn't been able to obtain yet. An energy output intense enough to activate the Ironheart. Fortunately, I do not detect any facilities in this swamp with that level of output. However, if there are any Colossi remains in this swamp in fairly good condition, they may still retain an immense amount of power. And there would be no need to infiltrate an Albion or Vulgus facility. I suspect the remains are exactly what Jeremy is after.
Ah, if that's so, that's good news. There aren't any usable Colossi remains around here, so we can finally catch our breath.
Actually, there is one. A while ago, there was an executioner which failed in an intercept attempt and ended up somewhere in this swamp. This is Vulgus territory, and I wasn't in a position to go after it at the time, so I left it.
Ah, damn it. I guess there was no way of knowing it could be used for this. We need to find the location of the remnants. I'm gonna blow them up so that nobody can use them.
Jeremy, if you can hear me, respond. Jeremy, don't do anything stupid. If you claim to still be a descendant, then it is your duty to not let Corell get his hands on the Ironheart. It's not too late to turn yourself in. If you do, we guarantee your safety. Jeremy, respond! We can't wait any longer. SMO and I will deal with the incoming Vulgus forces. You need to head to the location of Jeremy's signal.
They wouldn't chase us this far, right? Shh. Focus.
What? Are you scared right now? This is nothing. Huh? Damn!
Captain!
Damn it!
The Iron Heart is not something that can be wielded by a fool like you. Worthless scum. Take care of any descendants who have followed.